Wonder why this program is not working. Not sure how to approach this one. Determining the root cause will be key. I'll run the troubleshooting program to find the cause. Phew, glad that worked. With computers, we can run troubleshooting and get right to the fix. It doesn't quite work the same way in the classroom, right? Good thing there are reliable tools we can utilize when we run into performance issues. In the classroom, when students are not responding to instruction, it is key that we understand why. Sometimes we like to assume the cause, but there is a tool that takes the guesswork out of things. The skill will matrix is a great tool to use to determine the cause of a lack of performance. The great part is it can work with students, peer coaching, or other training situations. Let's jump right to it. Here's an introduction to the skill will matrix. So let's go ahead and take a look at the skill will matrix and how we can use it to understand the supports we provide. So we're going to have an overview, look at the process, and some keys to remember. Overview, we have the purpose of the matrix, the various uses, and we're going to look at some of the key takeaways. So what is the skill will matrix? It's a performance management and coaching tool so we can identify the root causes of performance issues and understand how to support different types of learners, coachees, etc. So the matrix plots individuals on two axes. We look at their skill ability and their will motivation. This can be used to help teachers, leaders, and coaches tailor their approach to supporting the identified individual. So the skill axis is on the x-axis and the will axis is the y-axis. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So here we have the y-axis, here we have the x-axis with the skills. So we look at the ability of the student. We'll use the student as an example. So for example, student is not performing. I want to determine what is causing that lack of performance. I need to determine if it's low skill or low will, right? Do they have the ability? They just don't have the motivation, or do they have the motivation, they don't have the ability, or do they not have any? So if they have no will, no motivation to do it, and they don't have the skills to do it, we have to provide direct instruction. This is what I need you to do. Do it like this, this, and this. I'm giving you direct steps to take because not only you're unmotivated, but you don't actually have the skills. So I want to build up those skills by giving you direct instruction, hopefully mastery opportunities, which will increase your motivation, increase your skill, and I can move you through the grid. So if the person is low will, low skill, we give them directions, specific directions. If they're low skill, high will, meaning they have low skill sets, but they're willing to do it, we want to coach and guide. If they have high skill but low will, we're trying to motivate them, excite and motivate them. So that means they have the ability, they just don't have the motivation to do it. So we want to excite and motivate them. If they have high skill and high will, we want to delegate and empower them. We want to utilize them as the leaders within the classroom or the leaders within the group, give them additional responsibilities because that'll keep them motivated to stay engaged. So it's a very simple matrix, but it's highly effective. So the four quadrants we just covered. So high skill, high will. That means the person is self-driven. They're experts. So we want to provide them with opportunities to lead within the group, lead within the classroom. That keeps them engaged throughout the process. High skill, low will. That means they're capable, but they're disengaged. We want to excite and motivate them. Low skill, high will. They're eager learners. We want to coach and guide them, give them mastery experiences with the skills so that we can increase that low skill setting and move them higher in the quadrant. And like we said, low skill, low will, they're struggling and unmotivated. So we have to give them direct instructions. And again, we're hoping that those direct instructions lead to mastery, which will increase their motivation because now they have confidence and efficacy moving forward. So again, here are the strategies. High will, high skill, you empower, delegate, and challenge. High skill, low will, you re-engage, align with purpose and recognize their efforts because you're going to try to increase that motivation. Low skill, high will, you train, coach, provide feedback and support to create those mastery experiences. And then low skill, low will, we diagnose the cause, set clear expectations, build trust. So you're working from the bottom, trying to work them up higher into the other quadrants by increasing their mastery experiences. So some of the classroom uses, you can diagnose learners, identify where students fall on the matrix. You can differentiate instruction based on the skill and will levels. So you're not approaching everybody in the same manner. You're giving that differentiation. So it's this matrix has differentiation built in. You can motivate and support, use positive reinforcement for low will. And then adjust teaching styles. So once you determine where they are on the matrix, you're going to adjust your teaching style, whether it be coaching, mentoring, or directing, as needed based on your assessment of that particular individual. So what are some of the coaching and leadership uses? We have performance management. You can tailor feedback and goal setting for the individual. This works well with adults because now you can tailor your coaching and your leadership to support them where they are. You can identify specific training and motivational needs. You can balance skills and will across group tasks. So you can actually group, your different trainees or your different coachees according to where they fall on the quadrant and set up your training in that manner. And it gives you the flexibility to not just use a one size fits all approach. So how do you move them across quadrants? You start with training, mentoring, practice, and feedback to increase the skills. So to increase the skills, you're training, mentoring, practicing, and providing feedback to give them mastery experiences to increase their efficacy to move up. You increase your will. You increase their will with recognition, purpose, and empowerment, and relationship building. So building that rapport helps build that motivation. You find out what makes them tick, and you can use that to motivate them. And then lastly, you can encourage a growth mindset and psychological safety. Psychological safety is just a fancy term for making sure that students or coachees feel safe in trying and being risk takers. Okay. So you want to create an environment where, hey, go ahead, give it a try. Nothing's going to happen if you don't do it right. We'll just figure it out. So you create that safe and inviting and welcoming environment so that they feel comfortable taking risk. So a possible exercise that you could utilize, you can ask participants to plot themselves, especially older students, maybe middle school through high school, even maybe fifth or sixth grade, but definitely middle school through high school and adults. You can ask them to plot themselves on the matrix, let them self-assess, and then look at strategies based on their self-assessment that you can utilize and develop with them. So what are the key takeaways? The skill well matrix simplifies development conversations, whether it be students, coachees, trainees, what have you. It helps tailor specific training supports, not a one size fits all. And like I said, it's effective for both the classroom as well as coaching. We hope that clarifies things a bit more. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. If you found this video beneficial, feel free to support this channel via PayPal or CashApp. 50 cents, $1, or whatever you like. All support is appreciated. This allows us the means to keep making great content.